I got a great question. Is non-duality coaching just doing nothing? And that's from Nikki. Yes, non-duality coaching is just doing nothing. So before you start interpreting it in your own way, let's just define what that nothing really is. Because what you imagine about nothing is not what the nothing really is.
Welcome to Live and Vibe.
So let's say you can see somebody doing nothing. You know, they're depressed, they're just lying in bed doing nothing. All day they do just nothing. And then they actually feel bad about it. I've done nothing. But when you zoom in and really look closer, you see a lot of doing happening, overthinking, rehearsing conversation, thinking about the past and what you're gonna do in the future, taking credit for all the good things and feeling bad, taking credit for all the bad things. You know, this is all doing. This doing doesn't happen in reality. It has nothing to do with action. It's simply mental. It's a mental effort. It's like just being busy with something. And the more doing you do, then the less action there is actually in reality. The least momentum there is, this just authentic movement, you know, that feels good and natural. And so basically, non-duality is about that. It's about doing nothing, but it's not like nothing that we're just sitting there and, you know, we're looking, because the opposite of doing is looking. It's questioning. It's really investigating, because the self-identity cannot look. It is completely disconnected from reality. It's living in its own personal reality where everything makes sense. There is a past, there is a future. And the self-identity already imagines what will bring it a happiness or peace. So it's constantly searching for it. It's doing what it thinks it needs to do in order to achieve that better experience in the future. And obviously, it's a never-ending search, which has been rigged from the very beginning. So what is doing nothing, actually? That means that action happens without the doer, without the identification. I mean, it's already happening. You know, action happens, words are being spoken, hand is moving. You know, there's nobody who is doing it. It's simply something that happens, and it's the same thing in your life. It's the same thing with everything. It's just a spontaneous unfolding, but it comes with the identification. It comes with the person, which is the voice. It's not just the voice in your head. It has this pseudo life on its own. It's a story that really stretches from the past into the future. It's everything else except of this or now, which is just this: action, engagement, truth, actually seeing. And for the self-identity, it's unthinkable. The self thinks that it knows what the truth is. It thinks that it knows what it's just disconnected. And the nature of the self, or the self-identity, the identification with that story about somebody who needs to achieve some better experience in the future, the nature is searching, because it's an illusion. It will never feel complete. So it always comes from this incompletion. It comes from lack. There's something still missing here. It's looking for permanence. It's looking for peace. It's looking for freedom. It's looking for approval. It's looking for security. It's just constantly looking for something. And that is, in a nutshell, the doing. Because that doing, the looking for something, really is just mental. It's just rehearsing. It's overthinking, like what to do next, making sure that you don't make a mistake, that you do everything how you're supposed to do in order to achieve that future outcome, even without, like, you don't even think about it consciously. It just happens spontaneously as long as the identification is there. And when the self-identity dissolves with the supporting stories, there is just freedom to act. It happens spontaneously. It's not doing, it's just action. It's very unexpected. It cannot be planned. It doesn't come from the past. It is not being feared about the future or the consequences. But it's not to say that it's acting irresponsibly, if there was such a thing. It has actually more discernment because it's so connected to reality. When the stories collapse, when the identification collapses, there is an opening to actually see what we are dealing with, without putting the filters on other people, without putting the filters on the world, on the situation that we are in, without the projections, without the need to fix something and to search for something. You are free to simply be. And there is so much freedom in that. As long as the search continues, there is no freedom in it. It really is a prison, but the door is always open. So I cannot talk about everybody who does non-duality coaching because I don't know how they do it. But for me, it's very simple. Spiritual awakening is basically just shifting from searching into seeing, to see what is available, to see the truth without the self-identification. And it really is an emotional work. It's not intellectual at all. You cannot just decide. You cannot just understand it by reading about it. Because the self-identity itself, it's made of suppressed emotions. It originates when we feel unsafe, we suppress emotions, and then it just lives on its own in a way, even though that it's not living at all. It's just an idea, a thought that's very convincing. It's a cover-up story to cover up reality, what is already and what is available, what is now. I don't mean now, this moment, but really now, this week, this year, now, what's available. That's the best way to describe it. And acting from that space of truth. It really creates that authentic momentum where outside of our expectations, where we simply move towards what feels true and aligned, not what feels aligned with the self-identity and its ideas about survival, but simply what feels alive. And so that is doing nothing, because really, after doing this deeper work, it happens spontaneously. There is no courage needed. I don't have to try to push my clients to do something. It's not like coaching, I'm not the cheerleader. I'm not the one who is there for them to comforts them or give them some inspiration, motivation. Without the underlying stories, you just can't help but do nothing else but move towards what actually serves you. Without the projected past into the future, the fears, the underlying fears, the search, it's just unexpected. We are able to see the opportunities, and we are able to see the green flags as well. And we stop ignoring the red ones. And it's so effortless. There's no effort needed. In fact, if there is effort, it feels stressful. And so when something feels stressful, again, we look into the underlying stories and the identification. We collapse those so the action can actually unfold effortlessly. And that is the non-doing. So yeah, non-duality coaching is just doing nothing. But that nothing feels very fulfilling. It feels very alive. It feels very unexpected. And if you feel that maybe you still feel stuck in your life or you're not where you would like to be, maybe you don't have that trusting relationship, or you would like to start a business, write a book, whatever it is, and you find yourself making excuses, but you are now ready to actually look underneath. What is it really that's stopping you to create that authentic momentum? And if you are tired of just being in the same place for so long, settling for something that deep inside you know it's not serving you, then you may explore coaching with me. And if so, you can simply apply through my website, which will be in the link in the description. There is an application form, and then we can have a chat, we can have a call, and we can explore what would be possible for you if we were in this coaching relationship together.
Welcome to the channel where seeking gets weird. We peel off your armor, not your feelings. Leave none